Indeed, for the time being, no mounting piles of trash on the streets of Paris, but that could be happening in the coming days with this strike of garbage collectors that has now resumed. I'm here at an incinerator, actually the largest one in Europe. Usually you have 100 tons of garbage burnt per hour. Currently, it's working at reduced speed. You can see behind me there's a crowd of demonstrators who are trying to block trucks from entering the site. You don't just have garbage collectors, you've also got workers from other sectors, you've got students, you've got climate activists, you've got politicians, notably from La France Insoumise, France en Bad, which is Jean-Luc Mélenchon's left-wing movement. They're here protesting, of course, against Emmanuel Macron, President Macron's pension reform. Just behind me, they've displayed a banner, a huge banner, saying 100% public, plus de moyens. Basically, they want public services to be 100% public. In other words, they want no privatization, a clear left-wing message. Crowds here quite unsuccessfully blocking trucks from entering the site because you also have police presence. You've got demonstrators here just turning up and asking for a general strike. I was quite surprised, I have to say.
Well, indeed, Clovis, we did just hear one of those demonstrators asking for a general strike. Good timing, because today is indeed the 12th day of mass industrial action against the reform. So does it look like the momentum is slowing?
Well, the CGT new boss, CGT being the main left-wing union here in France, Sophie Binet, is on the site, and she's just made a statement telling us that there are more strikes, more days of strikes to expect. And when we asked her, why are there less people on the streets protesting, she said because it's very difficult for many workers to sacrifice salaries, to give up salaries, because when they go on strike, of course, they're unpaid. So there might be a new strategy in the coming days, possibly mass demonstrations on the weekend to really show that the French people are mobilized against the pension reform. You can maybe hear just behind me, there was a truck beeping its horns and the crowds clapping and cheering. That truck, of course, in solidarity with protesters here. Today, as you said, more strikes, more protests, not just in Paris, but across France. Tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people expected to turn up on the streets before, of course, Friday's very important decision by the Constitutional Council that will validate, if you will, all or parts of this pension reform. And I can tell you President Macron's looking eagerly at it, anxiously possibly. He's already called for a special meeting tomorrow. He will be with the whole government, with key ministers, to see what the Constitutional Council says.